What up, YouTube? Okay, I'm gonna start off with an analogy. Let's say I bought a car and the make of the car was from an inferior company. Right? I'm not gonna put out any names because I don't want to, throw any car company under the bus. But let's say I bought a car from Company X, and Company X has been known for producing subpar cars. Okay, now I have this car, and I never took care of the car. Okay, I didn't value the vehicle. I never did the standard maintenance, get the oil change, and wash it. And the car was slowly deteriorating to the point where it stops working. If you're my friend, right, and I'm complaining about, oh, this car sucks, Company X doesn't make good cars, are you going to be so quick to say, oh yeah, Company X makes poor cars? Or in the back of your mind, are you going to say, well, you never really valued that car to begin with, so how can we truly know? I mean, I know Company X, makes subpar cars, but even on your end, you really didn't do enough to upkeep it. So how am I supposed to believe? Right? You're going to be on the fence. Yeah, the car company doesn't make good cars, but you, my friend, never took care of it. And this is kind of how I feel about education, right? We'll come on and talk about how we don't value education, but then in the same sentence, we'll also come on and say public ed has failed black students. And for me, it's just, how can you tell with great certainty? People are so gun-ho on, public ed has failed black students. And even then, tell us where exactly did it so you can fix it. Okay, you don't bring your car into the shop and say, my car is not working. They're going to ask you questions and they're going to run diagnostics and see where exactly, is your car failing, causing the whole thing not to run. But, we get little details. It's just a whole bunch of this system has failed. And to me, it seems like bullshit because, like I said, there's no details given. And the same people will talk about how we don't value education overall. So what's going on? See, it's like you're trying to hold yourself accountable, but then blame somebody else at the same time, and it doesn't work. Yeah, we don't value it. Oh, but the school's not doing its job. How do you know? How do you know? Process of elimination, right? You can control the variables under your power. And to me, the whole idea of valuing education is under our power. So till we get to this point, I can't really substantiate the whole idea of public schools failing. I understand that there's evidence out there, but it can all be negated. Okay, some white dude is saying I don't really care because these same people will openly admit that they don't value education. So how can they tell me this system is failing? And to be real, they can't even point out where exactly it's failing. It is what it is. There has to come a point in time where you have to wake up and smell the coffee. If you don't value education, you are going to fail. Whether you have a great teacher or a poor teacher. Oftentimes, what people are understanding, it's not the school's responsibility to give your child values. I'm sorry, it isn't. Now, a lot of the times we try to do so because it makes, it makes our job more fulfilling. But, when you have a majority of your students who have a lack of value, there's not much you can do. A student in a classroom, a student on a campus a child or a teenager on a campus isn't a student unless they are ready to be one. You have to send your child to school prepared to be a student. He has to have the proper mind frame, the proper materials. It is not our job to do that. So, really, I don't know what's going on. This goes back to the whole idea of trying to take accountability, but then at the same time trying to pass it off as America did this to me. And like I said before a while ago, there are schools, okay, that are in weird positions where geographically they are almost at the center of where middle class communities and lower class communities overlap. We have a lot of these type of schools in Southern California where you can have one middle school or high school and have middle class kids going there, kids in poverty and lower income kids all going to the same school. But these schools are still pretty good in terms of appearance, safety, materials. Every student has a book, access to the internet and computers. It's all there. But a lot of these black students are still failing, even at these schools. So for me, it's an eye-opener in terms of we are not valuing education. Every school isn't piss poor. But I can guarantee you, if you go to a school in a pretty decent area that's well funded, you are still going to see underachievement out of black students. So what can we say then? Oh, the teachers are failing us. They're going out of their way to hold down black students. I don't buy into all that. Like I said, I would be inclined to buy into it if I understood that we valued education, but it's clear that we don't, and we often talk about this all day, every day. So, you guys tell me how you feel. Like I said, I'm not trying to cover up and act as if inner city schools and other lower income type of schools aren't doing their job. But to me, you can't sit up here and act as if that's the problem when we'll sit down and talk about how we don't value education and how it's not cool to be an educated black male in American society. So you guys take it easy. Tell me how you feel. God bless.